Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Morning.
Okay.
Morning.
Put your cameras on and put your mics off now, please. We are here live with Miss Cheryl Sirju-Chong, CEO of the Arima Borough Corporation, and she's about to do the read along for you for the day. So guys, sit back, listen, and enjoy.
Good morning, boys. Today I'm going to read to you The Sorcerer's Apprentice. Max had spent hours cleaning the sorcerer's workshop and he still hadn't finished. "I'm fed up," he moaned to Tabitha, the sorcerer's toad. "All I do is mop, scrub, and polish. How will I ever learn any magic?" "Max," called a voice. Max leaped from his chair as the sorcerer came into the workshop. "I wondered if, the sorcerer lifted his foot in disgust. "Look at this toadstool. What have you been doing all morning?" "Cleaning," Max said sulkily. "Look, the water tank is empty." "You'd better fill it up then," said the sorcerer. "And sweep and scrub this floor again too. You did a terrible job the first time," Max sighed. "I have to go into town," the sorcerer went on, producing a shopping list. Must remember dragon scales. "Now, don't try any spells while I'm out," he warned, "or I'll turn you into a tadpole." With a glare at Max, he raised his arms. There was a flash of light. Purple smoke swirled around the room and the sorcerer vanished. "Hooray!" Max grinned. "A few hours off. I think I'll go for a swim in the moat." "What about filling the water tank and scrubbing the floor?" Tabitha reminded him. "The sorcerer won't be back for ages," said Max. "I'll do it later." "He won't be happy," said Tabitha. All right, snapped Max, grabbing a broom and started to sweep the floor. He groaned. Filling the water tank would take ages, and lugging the pail up and down the steps from the pump to the tank was such hard work. If only there was something he could do to speed things up. And then he had a brilliant idea. A few days ago, the sorcerer had cast a spell on a broomstick and brought it to life. "I just need to remember the spell," thought Max, "and then the broomstick can fill the tank for me." Max closed his eyes, took a breath, and recited the magic word. "Root and branch of old oak tree, bring this broom to life for me." The broom shuddered in his hand and sprouted arms and legs. "Fill up the water tank for me," ordered Max, and the broom did. Max was delighted. His first ever spell had worked. "I'm worn out now," he yawned. "I think I deserve a little nap." And he stretched out on a chair and went to sleep. The next thing he knew, a frantic toad was jumping up and down on his lap. Wake up," Tabitha croaked. "The tank is overflowing and the broom won't stop." "Huh?" mumbled Max sleepily. "Look," said Tabitha. "Oh no," cried Max. The water had reached the top of the tank and was pouring over the side. "That's enough," Max told the broom. "You can stop now, stop." The broom took no notice. Back and forth it trotted, filling pails to the brim and pouring them into the water tank. Water slushed in and slushed straight out again, flooding onto the floor. "Please stop," implored Max, but the broom kept going. "I can't look." "Quick, say a spell." to make it stop before it floods the whole workshop. Tabitha pleaded. I don't know any spell, said Max, looking embarrassed. Of all the nincompoops, muttered Tabitha. By now the water was up to his ankle and still the broom was bringing more. The sorcerer is going to be furious, Tabitha said. There must be something you can do. I can't think of anything, wailed Max. Could you chop it up? Suggested Tabitha. Great idea, said Max. With a loud crack, the broomstick split clean into two. Phew, said Max with relief. And then he realized that each half of the broom was growing a new leg and arm. Two of them screamed, Max, what are we going to do now? Don't get any more water, he shouted at the brooms. I don't need it. Do you hear me? No more water. The brooms ignored him. Grabbing empty pails, they clattered up the steps to the pump, filled the pails, and then rushed back down to the tank. I'm going to be in such trouble when the sorcerer comes back, Max thought gloomily. Please, please stop. He tried one last time, but the brooms kept going and they seemed to be speeding up. Max splashed through the water and tried to grab them, but they darted out of his reach. By now, the water was over his knees and rising fast past the top of his leg, creeping up to his waist. Desperately, Max caught hold of a table as it floated past. The entire workshop was afloat, and still the brooms kept filling the tank. With a splash and a splush, waves washed across the workshop. Help! Shouted Max. Someone please help! He warned you not to try any spells, Tabitha said. Maybe next time you'll listen. You're not helping, said Max. Can anyone hear me? Please help us, he yelled. There was a loud pop, and the sorcerer appeared. Green stars glittered around him. He looked down in horror as water lapped at his robe. What's going on? I leave you for just a couple of hours, he began, and I returned to find my workshop in a swimming pool. What on earth have you been doing? Just at that moment, the two brooms ran down the stairs and flung yet more water into the workshop. What? How? Why? Said the sorcerer, more than a little bewildered. I thought I had said no spells, he spluttered. Quickly, he spread his arms wide, held his wand high, and called out, Eye of a bat and tooth of boar, return to how you were before. In a swirl of smoke, one of the brooms vanished. The sorcerer waved a hand and the other broom swished across the floor, leaving a trail of stars. It came to rest against a table and leaned there perfectly still. With a clog, 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 the water started to drain away, leaving battered books and an upturned cauldron behind. Max peered over the edge of the water tank. I warned you, no spells, snapped the sorcerer, raising his wand. I'm really, really sorry, Max gabbled. Please don't turn me into a tadpole. I promise I won't meddle with magic again. Not good enough, said the sorcerer. That was quite a tricky spell he did, Tabitha pointed out. Perhaps he should start teaching him magic. He is your apprentice after all, the sorcerer thought for a moment. Maybe, he grunted. But first, he can clean up in here. Without magic, and if you ever disobey me again, he added to Max, you'll be frog spawn in the moat. From that day on, Max was the ideal apprentice. He studied hard, and soon he had learned how to start spells and how to stop them. When he grew up, he became a great sorcerer whose spell always worked perfectly, though he was careful never to enchant another broomstick. The end. Thank you, boys.
Wow. Welcome. Welcome.
Okay, boys.
Welcome.
All right.
Welcome.
We thank Miss
You're welcome.
Sirju-Chong on behalf of the Arima Boys RC School staff for having such a wonderful read along with you guys today. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope you continue to enjoy reading, because as you saw, Miss Sirju-Chong did enjoy reading to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, so lesson from
Bye.
bye bye. See you guys later. Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
Welcome.